Welcome to this class. Today I am going to continue the materials used in agriculture of class 9, and it is of the subject science and technology, and it is taken in the unit number 19. And today we are going to focus on pesticide and conservation of soil quality. But according to the name of the chapter, have you noticed this? Materials used in agriculture. There are two major materials which we use in agriculture. One is fertilizer, another is pesticide. And that's why I want to recall a little about the fertilizer which was taught in previous class, and then we will focus on pesticide and conservation of soil quality. Okay, let's talk about the fertilizer. What is fertilizer? Actually, the substances which are used to increase the fertility of the soil for the good growth of plant are called fertilizer. It can be divided into two types. Actually, it is categorized into two types. One is organic fertilizer, another is chemical fertilizer. Looking at this name, organic means it comes from plant or animal. And so, we can define organic fertilizer like this. Fertilizer made by the action of bacteria and fungi over the animal waste and plant buried into the ground is called organic fertilizer. Organic fertilizer is made by the animal waste or agricultural waste or both, and when they are buried into the ground, then the bacteria or fungi acts on this organic matter, and both of them acts on the organic matter and it converts to organic fertilizer. Now, it can further be divided into two types. One, compost fertilizer, another green fertilizer. Besides these two, compost fertilizer and green fertilizer, other organic fertilizer are also used in the field. They are powder of mustard cake, which is called pina in Nepali, and bone meal. This is the powdered bone of animal which supplies phosphorus and this potassium, etc. And ash can also be used as organic fertilizer. Ash supplies phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, etc. Now, let's talk about each of them. I mean to say compost fertilizer, at least about the compost fertilizer and green fertilizer. Compost fertilizer looks like this. And how it is made, exactly what is it, we can understand with the help of this picture. Looking at this picture, we can understand very easily. Animal waste and agricultural waste are buried into the ground for few days or maybe up to few months, also 1 or 2 months. Then these substances are acted upon by the fungi or bacteria and later converts to compost fertilizer, which appears like this. And we can say like this. This is a natural substance obtained by the decomposition of animal waste like animal dung, human waste and plant residue, which supplies plant nutrients and humus to the soil. This is an important point, humus. Humus is dark substance which comes in this compost fertilizer because of the decomposition of organic matter. It is rich in hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, etc. And it is very useful to the plant because soil is, if rich with humus, then leaching doesn't occur. I mean to say draining of water doesn't occur, and it prevents erosion also, erosion by the water. That's why humus is very important, which can be supplied by the compost fertilizer only, and it is not supplied by the chemical fertilizer. Okay, now let's go to another fertilizer, organic fertilizer. We know about this green fertilizer. Actually, they are prepared. This organic fertilizer is prepared by the green plants, and that's why it is called green fertilizer. Before the agricultural process, I mean to say before sowing of the seed in the soil, osuro, titepati, gaza, khirro, these green plants are, if buried into the soil, then they will decay or they will decompose within few days and converts to organic fertilizer. That's why green fertilizer can be defined this way. Fertilizer obtained by the decomposition of green plants in the soil of the field is called green fertilizer. Beside this organic fertilizer, there is another important fertilizer that is called chemical fertilizer. What is it exactly? This is either the salt or the organic compound like urea. A salt or an organic compound containing necessary plant nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus or potassium is called chemical fertilizer, which is used to make the soil more fertile. Have you noticed this? Nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, they are called primary macronutrients. It was taught in previous class also. Plant requires certain nutrients in large amount, in huge amount, and they are called macronutrients for plant. And among them, these three are very, very important: nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Sometimes maybe the deficiency of nitrogen occurs in the soil, and maybe the deficiency of phosphorus or potassium. We have to supply nitrogen to the plant by the use of nitrogenous fertilizer. That's why these three nutrients, which are very, very important and called primary macronutrients necessary for the good growth of plant, can be supplied by these different chemical fertilizer. Nitrogenous fertilizer, it means the fertilizer which supplies nitrogen to the plant is called nitrogenous fertilizer. And the example are ammonium sulfate, it looks like this, ammonium nitrate, which looks like this, and urea, it looks like this. Ammonium sulfate, ammonium nitrate and urea are very commonly used in the field to supply nitrogen to the plant. And there is phosphorus fertilizer also. What it means? Phosphorus fertilizer means it supplies phosphorus to the soil and will be taken up by the plant. And what are they? It is ammonium phosphate, which appears like this. This is calcium superphosphate, appears like this. And this is triple superphosphate, which appears like this. All these were taught in previous class also. I want to repeat this because there are two major substances which we use in agriculture, that is fertilizer and pesticide. Now lastly, let's talk about the potassium fertilizer. What it means? These are the fertilizer which supplies potassium to the soil and will be taken up by the plants. It appears like this: potassium chloride, potassium sulfate, potassium nitrate and potassium carbonate. These are the chemical fertilizer. After all this, now it's time to go to another part. Now fertilizer, this understanding of fertilizer is enough. Now what do you see in this picture? I want to introduce some other matter with the help of picture. Something is being sprayed over the field by a man, isn't it? Now look at this. Similar but with a different get-up, another person is spraying something over the field on the crops. This is another one, and this is in large scale. Something is being sprayed over the field. What are they spraying over the field? Even after the use of fertilizer, the good growth of plant doesn't occur because we have to take care about the pests. Pests are the villain for farmer. And if pest acts on the plant, they will destroy the plant a lot and yield of the crops will be very less. That's why they are spraying pesticide to kill the pests which are harmful to the good growth of the plant. That's why we are now entering into the pesticide. What is pesticide? We can say this way: the poisonous substances used to remove, destroy, kill or control harmful pests from seeds, plants, trees, birds, animals, human health and construction area are called pesticide. Actually, this definition has wider meaning. But what is the meaning of the word pesticide? At first I want to tell you. Look at the word. Pesticide is derived from the Latin word pestis, which means plague also. and actually it means pest. The plague is the name of the disease also, but pestis means pest, and this kaideri means kill. Pest killing agent is pesticide. That's why this word came from Latin name pesticides. Okay, now we are actually concerned with the good growth of plant. That's why the wider definition of pesticide is not so necessary. So, in the context of the use of pesticide in the field, in the context of agricultural process, we can define pesticide like this. Pesticides are the chemical substances used for destroying pests like rodents, insects, mice, fungi, virus and bacteria. And what are they exactly? Rodents. Rodents means mice, rat, porcupine, etc. They are small mammals. And what is insect? Insect, you know about this. It comes under the arthropoda phylum, and there are thousands of insects. Among them, some are shown here. Here caterpillar also shown, and some insects, they are feeding on the plant. And beside insect, there is another organism that is called mice. This is a spider mite which is acting on the leaf and it destroys the plant. Mites are another pest. And fungi. Fungi, this is fungal disease shown in the leaf, and the fungal disease shown in the plant also and in the crops also. Here we have one piece of bread also. I want to show it to you because you know about the fungus which acts on the bread also. That's why only this is shown here. Otherwise, we are related to fungal disease in plants. Okay. Now, another one after the fungus, let's talk about the virus. These are the virus which are acting on different plants at the lower side, but at the upper side, the virus destroyed the crops. And this is the action of the bacteria. Bacteria cannot be seen, but it destroys the crops. And these are the pests which we have to control. Otherwise, the yield of crops will be reduced to very less value. So, we'll talk about pesticide in detail later also, but some of we are a little confused about this rodents and mites. I want to highlight these two. What is rodent? Actually, rodents include mainly rats, which is very harmful to the agricultural crops. Beside rat, mice, porcupines means dumsi, squirrel, loharki, guinea pig, haris, this is rabbit, etc. All these are actually mammals. And we have a little confusion. That's why I want to highlight this. We have to control rodents also. Now next is mice. Mice comes under the class Arachnida of the phylum Arthropoda. And actually aphid, lie is also mites. In Nepali we say lie kira. This is also mice. Okay, now after all these, let's go to types of pesticide. What are different types of pesticide? Insecticide, this is a kind of pesticide. There is another fungicide, there is another rodenticide, herbicide, there are many. All these comes under pesticide, but especially if a chemical substance is used to destroy or to control or to kill insect is called insecticide. If a chemical substance is used to control fungi is called fungicide, and if the same chemical substance acts against these rodents, then this is called rodenticide, and weedicide or herbicide to control the weeds, which we say the grasses which are unnecessary in the crops field. Okay, fortunately or unfortunately, the pesticide word is not highlighted in our book. Instead of this, insecticide is highlighted. And that's why I want to go through this word insecticide. Actually, I mean to say all these are actually pesticide, but we are using the word insecticide especially. Now, what is insecticide exactly? Exactly, insecticide means the chemical compounds that are used to kill or control harmful insects are called insecticides. And it is divided into two types. One is called bioinsecticide and another is called chemical insecticide. What is bioinsecticide? Bioinsecticide, looking at the name also we can understand this is made up of natural material. That's why the insecticide made from natural substances to kill or control insects are called bioinsecticides. But at the meantime, we have to understand some other matter also. Actually, this bioinsecticide is the chemical substance found in nature and they are extracted from the nature and used to kill the harmful insect in the field. But there is another method also, biological method of pest control, which is not given in our book, but I want to mention this. Biological method of pest control. There are some insect, some bacteria, some selective birds. They can be used in the field to control the harmful insect which harms the crop. Just for example, look at this. This is ladybird. Ladybird is feeding on this scale insect. Scale insect means the insect which appears on the surface of the leaf and this soft part of the plant and stem. The ladybird is feeding on this scale insect. This is very interesting and it can be seen very nicely here. This is a ladybird which is feeding on the scale insect, and this is very good because this scale insect is destroying the crops. Once in California of America, the ladybird was used in the orchards. Orchard means the gardens of fruits, and the fruits were destroyed by the scale insect, and that was controlled by using Australian ladybird. They used this Australian ladybird for 2 years, and this ladybird took 2 years to eat and to destroy all these scale insect. This is the biological method of pest control. We can use insect also, we can use certain bacteria that will infect the harmful insect and destroy them, and we can use selective birds also that will feed on those harmful insects. This way, there is another method also, biological method of pest control. This is called biological method of pest control. Now let's come back to bioinsecticide. Bioinsecticide may be as can be used in the field to control harmful insect, or it may be adatoda, it means osuro. Osuro can also be used in the field just before the farming of this potato. We can use osuro in the soil and that controls different harmful insect contained in the soil. And there is another also, neem leaves. These neem leaves acts as bioinsecticides. We are using these neem leaves at home also. If we have certain amount of grain, that can be taken in the plastic container or some metal container, and if few leaves, neem leaves are placed over it and it is closed, then the growth of harmful insect is prevented. This way also, in the preservation of grain at home can also be done by using neem leaves. There is another also, mugwort, titepati. Titepati can be used, its juice and juice of neem can also be used to control bed bug. Okay, these are some bioinsecticides, and according to different research, what is seen, bioinsecticides are advantageous. Why they are advantageous? Because it is pollution free. It doesn't pollute the soil also, it doesn't pollute the environment also, water also. And second, not harmful to crop, plant and human also. Other insecticides, chemical insecticides are very harmful to the human also, and it is harmful to the crops also. But even after this, to kill certain harmful insect we are using, but this bioinsecticide is not harmful to crop, plant and human. There's another point also. This bioinsecticide is biodegradable. It converts to simpler substances in the environmental factor. A different environmental factor converts it into simpler substances and it is biodegradable. That's why it is advantageous. These are the advantages of bioinsecticides. Now, beside bioinsecticide, actually bioinsecticide we won't get in a very large amount, and if we have very large field, then if we cannot get enough bioinsecticide, then certainly we will use chemical insecticide. What is chemical insecticide? Actually, this is man-made chemical compounds that are used to kill or control harmful insects are called chemical insecticides. Few of them are DDT, BSC, methoxychloride, aldrin, dialdrin, etc. Now, the full form of DDT is dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane. And what the full form of BSC? Benzene hexachloride. Actually, these two are now banned because they have very bad effect on human health. They are not biodegradable. What is found when they are used in the field? The root of crops absorb it and it reaches to the grain also, and when we eat those grains or other crops, then what is found? This DDT and BHC comes to our body and that produces different harmful effect in our body. Because this is poison. That's why these two, which are not biodegradable, is nowadays banned in Nepal. Okay, the chemical insecticide, as far as possible, we don't have to use. But if our crops is damaged heavily by the harmful insects and harmful pests, then certainly we have to use. And we have to use in less amount and required amount only. If it is used excessively, then different harmful effects are seen. What are the harmful effects of the insecticide when we use excessively the insecticide in the field? We can understand with these points. It pollutes water, which harms aquatic organism. If excessive amount of insecticide is used in the field, then it flows in rainwater and reaches to the pond and lake, and what happens? Aquatic organisms will be killed by this insecticide and the ecosystem of the pond and lake is destroyed. There is another harmful effect. Contact with the chemical insecticide affects nervous system and glandular system in human. While using this in the field, certainly we come in contact with this chemical substance, and if contact is a lot, then it adversely affects the nervous system and adversely affects the this glandular system. That's why this is harmful effect of insecticide. Another, it affects the growth and reproductive capacity of bird and fishes. What is found? This insecticide is used to kill harmful insect. But killed insect is, if consumed by a bird, then that won't kill the bird, but it will reduce the reproductive capacity of the bird. It will lay less amount of egg and the cell of the egg won't be so thick and it will break easily. These are the effects found in the bird, and on the other side, it will affect reproductive capacity of fishes also. If large fish are in contact with this insecticide, then their reproductive capacity is found to be decreased. There is another harmful effect. It promotes the respiratory disease. If we are exposed to insecticide for a long time, month by month or week by week or year by year, if we are exposed for a long time, then certainly respiratory disease will occur to those persons, to those farmers. Okay, next is it does not kill only the harmful insect but also kills useful insect. Just for example, bees are necessary for the pollination, but bees will be killed by the insecticide. This is its harmful effect. Okay. Now I want to tell you about the precautions which should be taken while spraying or using insecticide in the field. What are the precautions? Looking at this picture also, you can understand many matter which is told by this picture. Look at this, the mask should be wear, gloves should be wear, the special type of cloth which we do not wear at another time should be wear. All this comes under the precautions, but I want to start with the manual. The manual for using insecticide should be studied properly. What amount of insecticide should be mixed with what amount of water? It is fixed. If less amount of insecticide is used, then it won't be effective. The harmful insect won't die. And if more amount of insecticide is used, then certainly the high quantity of insecticide is if used, then it flows to water and goes to pond and other places. And that's why correct amount of insecticide should be used. That's why we have to study the manual carefully first. And suitable cloth, masks and gloves should be used while spraying the insecticide. Otherwise, we'll expose to the insecticide that makes very different in our health. And insecticides should not come in contact with eye and mouth. Looking at this picture also, it's clear that he is wearing this mask also. Now next, insecticide should be sprayed in the direction of air. If air is blowing towards east from west, then we have to stand towards west and we have to spray towards east. But if in opposite direction, then certainly the sprayed insecticide will inhaled by the person who is spraying this. That's why we have to take care about this also. The direction of blow of air should be taken as in consideration. The equipments used to spray insecticide should be washed properly after its use. Certainly this is poison, that's why hands should be washed properly after handling the equipment. Okay, these are the precautions. Now it's time to talk about the conservation of soil quality. Now soil is the major factor and we are using soil for the good growth of plant. That's why we have to take care of the soil. There are certain points we have to take care. Frequent test of quality of soil is necessary in agriculture. What it means? What we are going to test? The pH value of soil should be tested. The pH value lies normally between 6 to 7.5. Yes, pH value of soil, normal pH value of soil lies between these two, 6 to 7.5. Maybe a little less than 6 also, maybe 5.5 also. And almost all the crops grows within this pH value. But if we use the sodium nitrate as nitrogenous fertilizer, and frequently if this nitrogenous fertilizer is used, then nitrate part will be absorbed by the plant and sodium is left in the soil, and this left sodium will combine with hydroxide of water, and sodium combines with hydroxide of water to form sodium hydroxide. This is an alkali, and if it happens, then what happens? Soil converts to alkaline soil. Instead of sodium nitrate, if we use ammonium sulfate a lot, I mean to say frequently we are using ammonium sulfate in the field to supply nitrogen in the field, then what happens? Ammonium part will be absorbed by the plant and sulfate part which is left in the soil will combine with hydrogen to form hydrogen sulfate, I mean to say sulfuric acid, and this acid increases the acidity of soil. And acidic soil and alkaline soil is not suitable for different crops, and we cannot grow different crops because of the acidity and alkalinity of the soil. That's why we have to take care about this. Frequent test of soil should be done. it should not be too alkaline and too acidic. Okay, I want to talk about another matter also, that is nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium should be tested time to time because they are primary macronutrients, and maybe the soil is deficient of nitrogen, potassium or phosphorus. They should be supplied time to time if there is deficiency of these materials in the soil. That's why frequent test of quality of soil should be done. Now next, use of suitable farming technology should be applied. What it mean? Suitable farming technology. That can be described with these points. Crop rotation. If we are using leguminous plant like pea, bean, gram, etc. in the field, these leguminous plant have root nodules. This is the root nodule of leguminous plant, and these root nodules contains rhizobium bacteria. The rhizobium bacteria present in the root nodules absorbs the atmospheric nitrogen and forms nitrogenous substance in the root nodules, and this nitrogen is used up by these plants in making protein. But after the harvesting, we cut this plant at this place, this part will be left in the soil, and the part which is left in the soil contains root nodules, and this root nodules is rich in nitrogen, which later converts to nitrate in soil, and nitrate is soluble in water and that can be absorbed by the other plants, and nitrogen is utilized in making what? Protein. That's why crop rotation should be done. Once leguminous plant is used in the field, later in place of leguminous plant another plant can be used over there, just like paddy, wheat, corn can be used, and after this again we can use leguminous plant. This way crop rotation helps the conservation of soil quality. Now next is multiple cropping. Multiple cropping means at the same time we can use different crops. Just for example, cotton and groundnut are normally used together in the field. Waste of one of the crop is utilized by the another crop. That's why multiple cropping is preferable and it conserves the soil quality. There are other also. Maximum use of organic fertilizer and minimum use of chemical fertilizer, we should prefer this. As far as possible, organic fertilizer, use of organic fertilizer should be increased and use of this chemical fertilizer should be decreased, because organic fertilizer provides humus also and it prevents leaching also. Leaching means draining of water is prevented by this humus, organic fertilizer, and it also prevents the erosion of soil. That's why as far as possible we have to use maximum amount of organic fertilizer and minimum amount of chemical fertilizer. Okay, next is suitable irrigation technology. If water is supplied more, then what happens? The germination of seed doesn't occur and it may destroy the root of the plant. And that's why irrigation should not be more. The supply of water should not be excess, and it will stand in the field. The standing water in the field dissolves the salts contained in the soil, and when evaporation of water occurs, then the salt remains on the surface of the soil and that destroys the plant. Now next point, proper use of land. After harvesting, the land should be plowed, which makes the soil loose and availability of the oxygen will be more up to a little depth, and the availability of oxygen is if increased, then denitrifying bacteria like Pseudomonas will destroy. Denitrifying bacteria is the villain. It converts nitrate contained in the soil into free nitrogen and it returns back to the atmosphere, and this is very harmful to the farmer. That's why we have to take care about this. After harvesting the crop, the fields should be plowed again to make the soil loose. That prevents the action of denitrifying bacteria. Nitrogen can be stored in that plowed field. Okay. After all these explanation, I want to talk about the subject matter again, whether the matter is understood or not. Let's check it with the help of certain questions. Look at this. Which one of the following is banned? Aldrin, dialdrin, methoxychloride, DDT. All these are pesticides. Which one is banned? I told you DDT is banned. Yes. Now let's go to another multiple choice question. Which one of the following is suitable for the preservation of grains in closed container at home? If we have grain in closed container, we can use which one? Asuro, titepati, neem leaves or ash. Which one is suitable? Certainly neem leaves. It prevents the harmful organism, harmful pest to grow. The growth of harmful pest is prevented by neem leaves. This is one of the natural insecticide. Now next, find the correct and incorrect argument from the following. The minimum use of organic fertilizer and maximum use of chemical fertilizer conserve the soil in the same way, second, third, fourth. Now, reading each of them, we have to tick or we have to cut. Which one is correct, which one is incorrect. Minimum use of organic fertilizer and maximum use of chemical fertilizer conserve the soil quality. Is it? No, this is just the opposite. We have to minimize the use of this chemical fertilizer but maximize the use of organic fertilizer. That's why this argument is incorrect. Plowing a field after harvesting of crops is good for preservation of nitrogen in soil. Yes, it destroys the denitrifying bacteria, isn't it? Now next, bioinsecticides are pollution free and biodegradable. Yes, yes, this is correct argument. Insecticides kills the selective harmful insects. Is it? No. Insecticide kills all the harmful and useful both the insects. There is no any selection for insecticide. That's why this saying is incorrect. This argument is incorrect. It also kills useful insect. Okay. Now after all this, and now I think you have benefited by this class. Especially we were focused on pesticide and conservation of soil. Today, I want to finish this class. We'll meet in some another class. Thank you.